magandang gabi po sa ating lahat and welcome po sa Usapang Hobby. Ako po ang inyong lingkod na si SILVERGE'S. So ang ating magiging special guest for tonight ay wala nang iba kung hindi si Nichols Toys, Mr. Nichols Saison. So we'll find out kung sino ito si Mr. Nichols Saison at kanyang ibabahagi ang kanyang opinyon patungkol sa hobby. At kanya ding i-share yung kanyang story sa kanyang hobby journey. So before we start, huwag kalimutan na mag-subscribe sa aking YouTube channel, Verge Kevin Umali, and also you can follow my Facebook page, Silverge'S Toys and Gunpla Family, para maging updated kayo sa mga upcoming kong toys or Gunpla reviews. So, huwag na natin patagalin guys. So, invite na natin si Mr. Nichols Saison. And also guys, you can share this one po sa mga toys or Gunpla groups if you want to.
Oh, hi!
Yeah, so, hello
Share
sir.
ko lang yung video. Share ko lang yung
no
video
worries.
sa mga kaibigan ko.
Okay. So,
Wow,
sir,
may
good evening po sa inyo, sir. And happy po ako na na-invite ko po kayo dito sa aking podcast.
Okay. Yes. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. Really. I'm just looking at the. I'm trying to share this to. Hold on.
Sure, take your time.
Okay.
So, sir, how are you today, sir?
I finished work early, and that makes me happy. That makes me happy. Yes, I'm quite happy today, and I'm happy to be here. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me to be here, Mr. SILVERGE'S Umali.
And also for our viewers, just to clarify, si Mr. Nichols is a Filipino, hindi po siya foreigner po.
Marunong po ako mag-Tagalog. Putang ina.
I like that attitude.
I just speak English because I'm more comfortable with it. That was my first language. Yun lang naman yung dahilan. There's no deeper reason behind it or anything.
So, sir, since that I see that you're okay now, so before I start asking questions, so pwede niyo po ba maipakita yung mga collections, sir, para makita ng ating mga viewers?
Okay. So, we're gonna do what's easier first. What's already here? We have like my wall-mounted shelves. I think this is like a good symbolism of what I collect. First level, we have Gunpla. These are my painted works. I have the Dom, the Gustav Karl, and the GP04 here. And then, like on the second shelf, I have Spider-Man figures. I'm a big fan of Spider-Man. I have like a lot of his stuff. Like I have more stuff here, if you can see it. And on the third level, we have my some of my anime stuff. I actually have a lot of anime stuff. But here's my brother's Evangelion collection. Actually, my collection is kind of like shared with my brother. And then here's our Berserk collection, Figma. And then here we have Revoltech Gurren Lagann figures. And then more Gundams here. We have some Kamen Riders here, if you can see. Yeah, this is a mixed shelf. Like we have Kamen Riders, we have anime characters, we have. Actually, this shelf is color coded. Here we have the red shelf. Here we have the yellow shelf, and then here we have like the blue and purple colored characters. Yeah, that's I guess what I. Here's my backlog. Here's my backlog.
And sir, since na meron kang mga collections talaga at nakita ko marami, mahilig ka rin bang gumawa ng mga photography, sir, on your toys or Gunpla?
Okay, yeah. I like taking pictures, but I suck at taking pictures. No, 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 no. I mean, like, I can take decent pictures, pero hindi ako yung high effort na talagang gagawa, like maglalagay ng diorama, maglalagay ng lighting. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
in the future,
Mm-hmm.
maybe well, when I get the time and the the will, the will to do that. There, yeah. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. I'd say I'm more of an enthusiast. Like I like talking about toys more than taking pictures of them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like I like making content about toys, like talking about them, talking about markets, toy markets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not really like a serious photographer, but I do take pictures once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Kaya ko po naitanong yan, sir, kasi po nanonood yung ating viewer na si Mr. Mark Evan Lumbang from Kamen Rider Collectors Pampanga. Since na meron po
Oh,
kayong Kamen Rider figures, will be glad na ma-invite po kayo sa kanyang grupo para malaman nyo rin yung
oh,
mga ibang
I would be
information about
glad.
sa mundo ng Tokusatsu.
I would be glad to join your Kamen Rider group. Oh, speaking of Kamen Rider, here's my latest Kamen Rider. This is the Agito model kit by Bandai.
Mhm.
The figurize,
Mhm.
amazing kit. Highly recommended. No stickers. I mean, may stickers siya, but like this is how it looks like with no stickers, and it looks perfect without stickers
Mhm.
already. So yeah, it's amazing.
Especially pag may mga at pramin pa like Kamen Rider Ghost and si Kamen Rider Black, di ba?
Oh, yeah, yeah. See, the black figurize looks good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So sir, tayo kasi pagka before natin mapalago or maparami yung ating collection, nagsisimula yung salitang passion or yung pagmamahal doon sa ginagawa natin. So sir,
Yes.
when did you start collecting toys? Or kailan nagsimula yung pagmamahal mo para sa pagkokolekta ng toys and ng
Okay. Well, I mean, lahat naman tayo siguro bumili ng laruan or binilhan ng laruan nung bata pa.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm no excuse to that. Like, yeah, of course. Um, I think I got my first Gundam. I think.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if it was like a heavy arms or a dead scythe, but it was one of those. Uh, I remember the heavy arms being a gift from my lolo. It's a high grade heavy arm. And I remember the death scythe being like a gift from my parents to me before. I think this was when I was grade 4, when I was 10 years old, or maybe when I was grade 3, when I was 9 years old. Uh, Actually, the death scythe, the old death scythe, I rebought I rebought it like nung kasi yung unang death scythe ko, syempre nasira na yun kasi bata ako, syempre yung alam mo na mga bata, I'm no excuse to that. uh, yeah, I kind of broke my first death scythe, so I bought a new one. I bought a second one in 2000, 2011, I think, or 2012. And yeah, this is the
Mhm.
one. It's the old one to
Mhm.
144 death scythe. But I also have the new one, the high grade after Colony, the
Mhm.
HGAC. But it's kind of the back of a shelf, so I can't really get it right now.
Mhm.
But yeah, yeah, I do have that, and yeah, I was very happy when they announced that they were gonna make a new Dead Side. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy that. Like, no question, I am gonna get that new Dead Side.
Mhm.
And
And then after that, sir, kahit po ba
wait,
nung nag-high school ka,
actually, I was
mhm.
about to get to that actually. I returned to Gunpla, like, because syempre, like when you get into a hobby as a kid, most of the time it doesn't stay very long. Because when you're a kid, you're exploring more hobbies, exploring more things to do. So yeah, I didn't stay as a kid, and I'm sure a lot of people are like this. You don't like career gunpla as a kid. Like you don't take gunpla seriously as a kid. It's really just there as like a toy that oh, I saw Gundam Wing on Cartoon Network. Oh, that looks so cool. Oh, I want to buy a toy. And I want to buy a model kit, treat it as a toy, then destroy it eventually, because that's what all kids do. And uh, yeah. However, when I was in high school, I think this was in 2011 or 2012. It was one or the other. Yeah, I think this was no. This was 2010, like 2000.
Uy, nawala si sir. Anong nangyari? So, we'll go back to Mr. Nichols. So, shoutouts nga pala kay Sir Huji and I hope na nagustuhan niyo yung aming napag-uusapan dito sa Usapang Hobby. Hello, sir. Welcome
Okay,
back.
I'm back. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. It just disappeared. Oh my God. Zuckerberg hates me. Zuckerberg hates me. Okay.
So sir, going back to my question, sir. So nung nag-high school ka na, sir, nasabi mo nga nahilig ka na sa pagko-collect ng Gunpla. So what was
Okay.
The next chapter of your life as a hobbyist?
Okay, so I think this was like 2009 or 2010. It was Gundam 00 that brought me back to Gunpla. Yeah, it is still one of my favorite Gundam shows to date, Gundam 00. But it's funny, it didn't really start with 00. It was because I got into anime in general. Oh wait, by the way, but before I continue, I want to shout out to Wuji. I saw him in the comments. What's up, man? And there is another comment. Wait long. Let's look at the comments actually. I'm gonna check my PC for the comments. Mr. Jules Dedoro, shout out to you, man.
And also
Okay.
sir, 'di ba yung time ng Gundam 00, correct me if I'm wrong, 'di ba dati pinapalabas pa yan sa TV5, 'di ba? Yung Gundam 00.
Yeah. It had its Philippine broadcast, which that's amazing. Anyway, like I was saying a while ago, it wasn't directly through 00. It was because I got into anime in general, and the anime that got me back into anime was Gurren Lagann, another mecha show. And I think I showed like my Gurren Lagann, our Gurren Lagann collection a while ago, and yeah, it was Gurren Lagann that got me back into anime and mecha. And of course, I was looking for more mecha to watch, and then that's when I stumbled upon Gundam 00. I was like, "Whoa, this is so good!" And then, yeah, like it made me remember all of the Gundams I used to watch back in the day. Like I watched Wing and Seed before, so ayun, like it got me curious about the wider world of Gundam, the bigger world of Gundam. So I watched Universal Century. I enjoyed Universal Century. And then after 00, diba, Unicorn and Age came after 00. So yeah, like I got into that also. I love both Unicorn and Age, by the way. Tapos ayun. Gunpla became an on and off hobby for me, I guess, because I mean, as a student, I didn't have a lot of money. I mean, because I thrive on allowance. I'd buy like, I guess, 3 high grades and 1 master grade a year, or like something like that.
Sir, paano sir, di ba sabi mo nga, kumbaga allowance lang. Kung mai-share mo sir, nung time na di ba nag-aaral ka sir, magkano ang nagiging baan mo at magkano ang naitatabi mo para ma-sustain mo lang yung hobby mo?
Oh my God, I don't want to share that. I'm gonna be judged. Nichols, kaya palang payat mo dati.
Skype na kinakain mo.
But there are times where I mean, like, I guess it depends if there's something I want. Yeah, but of course, like I still make sure that I eat. I mean, I'm a human being. I can't. I'm gonna die if I don't eat. So
yung tipong pambili mo ng kit pang halagang 3,000 tapos yung pangkain mo pang military base, no?
Oh, one saging, one per lunch.
Survival
uh,
food.
saging and rice, ganun. Saging and rice.
Kasi 'di ba sa ating kasi mga kabataan, 'di ba? Kahit di naman ako sure, talagang we must face talaga na may mga ganito talagang mga tao talaga na pag gusto nila ang isang bagay, nagkakaroon kasi yung advantage na meron kang nakikitang goals na parang ay gusto ko 'to. Parang natututo kang
Yeah.
mag-ipon para
Yeah,
matugunan
yeah.
yung
Actually,
sarili
I'd
mo.
say that's one good thing about having a hobby. It teaches you how to save, even
Mhm.
though you're gonna spend the money anyway. But I mean, it teaches you how to budget. It teaches you how to yeah, I'm only gonna spend this much for the day, ganun, para I can
Mhm.
save this much, and hopefully by the third month after this, I'll have enough to buy that new high grade Susanowo from the Nandamalo. Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
sir,
like
moving
that,
forward,
like that.
sir, moving forward, 'di ba? Nag-college ka hanggang sa ngayon nga nakakapag-work ka na. So, out of your work, sir, ano yung pinakaunang na-purchase mo na laruan and how was the experience compared nung kabataan mo hanggang sa
Okay,
ngayon natutugunan mo na yung pangangailangan sa hobby?
I actually don't remember the first toy I bought, but I remember, I remember the okay. Before I started working, I bought uh wait, I remember now. Before I started working kasi I had an OJT. And then my OJT gave me an extension. The extension, may bayad yun. So,
Mhm.
ayun, I was able to get some money from my OJT. And
Mhm.
I know I used part of it to buy new shoes, but I also used part of it to buy SH Figure Arts Bruce Lee. The one with the yellow tracksuit. Yeah, I
Mhm.
have it there. And SH Figure Arts Amazon Alpha
Mhm.
from Kamen
The
Rider
regular
Amazon.
yung regular form or yung new Omega?
Yung ano, the one from season 1. So, hindi yung T-Bandai.
Okay. Akala ko yung new Omega.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, not the Alpha, the red one.
The red
Omega is the
one.
green
Sorry.
one. Yeah, Alpha is the red one. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, like that's what I remember. Pero
Mhm.
although like I'd say the most memorable purchases for me during my work. I mean,
Mhm.
these aren't the first purchases, but like I guess in like my second and third years of work, and then because in those years, like my second and third years at work, I I met some people at work who were also into the hobby.
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah, that those years to me were very memorable. I remember we bonded heavily on 30 minutes missions.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was like our main source of bonding that time because 30 minutes missions, you can just buy one kit and you can customize it with even Gunpla parts. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that was awesome. That was, I think, one of the greatest hobby related experience I had at work.
Since na nabanggit mo yan, sir, 'di ba, tayo kasi mga hobbies talaga on improving our knowledge pagdating sa toy collecting. Talagang meron tayong mga magiging kumbaga parang magiging help or parang naging a stepping stone towards on our knowledge on achieving those type of scenarios yung pagdating sa kaalaman. So sir, sino po ba yung mga mababanggit mo na tao na nakapagpabago sa buhay mo sa hobbies at sino yung mga gusto mong pasalamatan?
Okay, as a painter, I want to thank David Ceremonia. I hope you're watching this. I don't know if you're watching this, but I hope you are. And if you are, yeah, you're hearing me right now, thanking you. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, he taught me a lot about painting, about like the basics of painting, and about like I guess community philosophies also.
Mhm.
Uh, and I also want to thank back in the day, back in 2009, 2010, 2011, when I was starting out, we
Mhm.
there was this little community. I don't know if you know about this. The Gundam Eclipse community. It was a forum, the Gundam Eclipse forum. It
Mhm.
was a forum dedicated to small YouTubers, like small Gundam YouTubers. Uh, Z Versus was here. If you remember Z Versus, Double O Rebirth was here. Yeah. A lot of these people are inactive now in the in the overall community, but yeah, that community to me helped me a lot. I I met so much people through that community online, and yeah, I also learned so much, like in general, how to paint, how to build. Uh, yeah, this was really way back in the day, the Gundam Eclipse forum, and then uh, in the more on a more local level, I joined GMAC. Yeah, that's where I met David, Topetsuki. Also, I met him there. Yeah, and I also met like a lot of amazing modelers there. Vance Hilario, the guy who founded the group. Virgin Angel Paul Velando.
Mm-hmm.
Now Paul Velando, I think, is like one of the best people I've met in the community. He's really nice. He's really friendly. Uh, it's just that he's not very active anymore. He's more of a Star Wars guy now. So yeah, like I don't see him in the Gundam community anymore. He's more of a Star Wars guy now. Who else? Yeah. Just I guess those guys are the ones who I remember mostly in terms of my earlier years, my earlier years in getting into the hobby. I also want to shout out to Amir Corpus and Wuji. Wuji was here a while ago. Yeah, Wuji I think is uh, well one of the best people I've also met in the community. And Ryan Ruedas, if you know him, Ryan Ruedas, I met him through YouTube. He was a YouTuber before, but then he stopped. I guess like he got busy. He's an adult now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he made like these slideshow videos of his Gunpla. That was what his content was mostly about. He made Gundam slideshow videos. Yeah, so yeah, there. To summarize, it's mostly GMAC and the YouTube, like the old Gundam YouTube community.
Mm-hmm.
There, yeah.
So, sir, moving forward to my next question. So, after that, sir, let's talk about skills. So, nabanggit mo nga na may mga tao talagang tumulong sa'yo towards learning on painting. And also, according to my research, na sumali ka rin ng contest like GBWC. So, sir, pwede
Oh
niyo po
wow,
bang
you know about that.
yes. So, pwede niyo po ba ma-share po sa kanila yung experience mo sa pagsali sa Gunpla Builders World Cup? And sir, I want to know your opinion about this. Na para sa'yo ba, sir, na ang Gunpla Builders World Cup is para lang sa may mga skills or magagaling? Kasi, sir, di ba, may mga taong ang perception nila na hindi ako ayoko sumalin GBWC kasi para lang sa magagaling yan, para lang sa mga
Mhm.
marunong or magaling magpintura yan. So, para sa'yo, sir, what are your thoughts about my questions?
Okay, so um, I'm gonna start with my own experiences. Okay. Uh, like the earlier years of GBWC, like I think it was still called Baku back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay, it was actually like I found it pretty hard to participate because like you have to submit an email on time and you have to be there on the venue on time. And I remember their deadlines were pretty strict back then. Like you have to be there like really early. And yung mga area na pinipili nila, it's always traffic. Mega Mall, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Mega Mall, Robinsons. Like the Robinsons EDSA, I think, before. Or alam ko they eventually moved to Magnolia, which I think is slightly better in terms of in terms of traffic, I guess. Wait, may nagtanong pala. I think I want to answer this question first. Is that okay?
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Someone's asking if there's a movie 3 of Gundam Thunderbolt. The answer to that question is not yet. I believe, they haven't animated the third part of it yet. But if you want to watch the second part, it's on YouTube right now. It's on the Gundam Info channel. So
well, actually, mamaya, let's ask about questions about knowledge about Gundam later. So, sir,
okay.
let's stick to my question for you. And
Okay,
mamaya,
okay,
sir,
because baka kasi makalimutan kong sagutin yung tanong nung comment. Pero sige, yeah. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's back to the topic. Yeah. My experience with GBWC. Yeah, I had some bad experiences, definitely. Bad experiences that I don't want to talk about. Although to the people watching, if you know me, you probably know what I'm talking about. And okay, this is the thing. Um, I was in college. I was young. I was stupid. I was a kid. Uh, and I was like in early college. Like I barely just got out of high school that time, and I think that yeah, just when you make a mistake, just learn from it. Just mistakes. We're not we're not gods. You know, we're human beings. We all make mistakes. But you know, when you make a mistake and then you feel that, oh man, what have I done? Yeah, you feel bad for a reason, and yeah, for that reason, you have to learn from whatever bad thing you've done. Ayun, yeah, that's and I guess that goes um that applies in more than just one way. Like you can say like you made a mistake in your attitude or you made a mistake in your work, in your gunpla.
Mhm.
Yeah, GBWC, yeah, just take note that it's a public event. It's a public
Mhm.
event. If you make a mistake or like if you do something bad, yeah, you will be talked about. And yeah, I was talked about
Mhm.
because of that thing I did. I think that this was the year. I forgot what the year was, but in this year I wasn't a good sport, and I know for a fact I'm not the only one who was like that. Like there were other people like that, and I guess that comes to show that it's a common. It happens, you know, not being a good sport about something, and I think that tends to happen if you take your hobby too seriously. So lesson learned: don't take your hobby too seriously. It's a you're supposed to have fun. Okay, this is you. We engage in these hobbies to have fun, and you know, yeah, let's just have fun. Yeah,
Mhm.
we don't need to fight about things. We don't need to, you know, be bad
Mhm.
sport about things. Yeah,
Mhm. And
that's
for how
that's what
what
I did.
about my follow-up question for you na may
Oh,
mga
okay,
iba
yeah,
kasi sir
I'll
ang
get into that
perception
right now.
bale kumbaga yung perception nila is para lang daw sa magagaling at magaling magpintura ang GBWC. Do you think it's a right opinion or parang pananaw ng isang hobbies?
Okay, this is what I think. Okay, lahat ng mga magagaling na kilala ko, they all started at the bottom, like David Ceremonia. Like I remember he told me a story before that his first entry was like this really. I think it was painted with like markers and stuff and like I guess like oversprayed Bosnia. Yeah, like I think I can say the same thing about myself. Like I think the first thing I tried to enter in a contest, it I didn't use primer for my first entry, uh,
Mhm.
or at least my first supposed entry.
Mhm.
Um, so and take note, the contest has the new challenger category for a reason,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
GMKC has a new challenger category, and I think yeah, that's why it's there. It's for you to enter without feeling too much pressure. You know, you enter this new challenger category,
Mhm.
thinking that I'm not really here to win. I'm more here to learn. I'm here to experience and learn. Yeah,
Mhm.
and yeah. So I don't agree with the saying that you have to be good to enter a contest because okay, but here take note that your work will be judged. like regardless, like if you're new or if you're a beginner or if you're a veteran, either way, you're gonna be judged. Because yeah, that's what a contest is. You present your work, you're gonna be judged not just by the judges but also by the audience. Of course, the audience are gonna they're gonna give their opinions on your work. So yeah, that's what I think. You don't have to be good, but you have to be ready to take judgment. You have to be ready to
Tsaka yung salitang sir, 'di ba, na take that as a constructive criticism. Tsaka isa pa, 'di ba?
yeah.
Nag-post tsaka ba di-display mo yan in public, close in public eh. Wag kang mag-expect na makukuha mo lahat is papuri. Tama ba ako, sir?
Yeah, exactly. Like you know the overused phrase "Gunpla is freedom." The overused phrase, the most overused phrase in the community. Here's the thing. Yeah, Gunpla is freedom, but you have to take note that freedom. The people also have the freedom to judge your work. Yeah, it's a double. Yeah, it's a two-way thing. It's not just your freedom of turning your Gunpla into whatever you want. It's also freedom of other people to judge your work. It's diba? Yeah. Like people fail to grasp that. Like a lot of people think that the Gunpla is freedom quote is just a one-way thing. No, it's not. It's a two-way thing. It's a double-edged sword.
And what if naman, paano naman kung halimbawa, sir, na mag-respond sila sa'yo, ito gusto ko, ano bang pakialam mo? Pinapakailaman mo yung gusto kong gawin.
Yeah, I think good for you. Yeah. I think, if you think that way, then good for you. Pero the thing is, if you go into the hobby with the mindset na I wanna build a Gunpla and not be judged for it, then just don't post your work. because if you're gonna post your work, of course you're gonna be judged. Of course, people are gonna comment about it. You know,
diba?
yeah. Just take note of that.
And also, just to educate our fellow Filipino hobbies, para sa lahat ng GBWC, kagalingan man o hindi, ang importante ron is learning at saka yung camaraderie ng bawat isa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just be a good sport. Yeah, learn from my lesson. learn from my mistake. Be a good sport.
So after the competition, sir, since nabanggit mo na yung may nagtanong sa iyo na si Sir Ferdy about Gundam. So, sir, bigyan natin sila ng little glimpse of your knowledge in terms of Gunpla, sir, para malaman nila kung sino si Sir Nichols by the use of my questions. So, sir, this is my question for you na ang sinasabi ng iba, there's always a debates about Gundam pilots and Gundams in the Universal Century timeline and so on and so forth. So, sir, merong iba na opinions na sinasabi na yung double O or yung Anno Domini era is mas overpowered ang mga mobile suits kumpara sa mga ibang generations na nilabas. So para sa iyo, sir, do you believe na overpowered yung mga mobile suits ng Anno Domini kumpara sa mga ibang century?
Okay, this is what I think. I think comparing the power level of Gundams from power levels of Gundams from different timelines is a waste of time. because I mean, like, if you look at it, the Gundams, the power levels of the Gundam are like that to reflect the story, or like to reflect like what's needed in the story, what's needed in the setting, and all of these timelines have different settings. So I think it's useless to compare like your double Rezer has no match for my Strike Freedom. But like I think it's okay to have discussions like oh yeah, I think the most powerful Gundam is the Turn A, like that. Yeah, like I think it's okay to make discussions like that.
Pero
yeah, like
sir, what makes you think na mas malakas ang correct century na kay Turn A Gundam kumpara sa Anno Dom? Kasi just to educate our Filipino hobbies, Anno Domini, kumbaga yan yung pinaka-era ng mismong series. For example, si Gundam 00, under siya ng Anno Domini era. correct century is
Yeah.
for turn A Gundam. Hindi siya under ng
Turn A, yeah,
correct.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, kumbaga sir, paano mo nasabi na mas overpowered si turn A kumpara sa double O?
Okay. Okay. The thing is, I'm not a big fan of. Like I said a while ago, I don't like yung mga verses from different timelines. But to answer your question, why I think the turn A is more powerful than the. I'm gonna answer this in like the most logical way I can. Uh, the turn A. First of all, the correct century is like it's supposedly like the final last timeline of everything. Or like that's what I think Tomino intended for it to be. So yeah, of course it has to be the most powerful one because it's yeah, Tomino intended for the turn A to be the ender of Gundam. Yeah, to be like the that's why if you watch Turn A, like they had flashbacks of different series. They had Wing Zero. Yeah, there was a cameo of Wing Zero. There was a cameo, I think, also of Gundam X. And while Seed and Double O didn't exist yet at that time, I'm pretty sure it's already implied that Seed and Double O also belong to the dark history that was shown in Turn A. Sorry for the spoilers, but but like I mean, you probably know about that already anyway.
So bakit ko po natanong sa iyan, Sir Nichols? This is just a little glimpse of showing your knowledge to our Filipino hobby. So sa mga nanonood po, na kung gusto niyo pong malaman yung other informations about Gundam series, and meron po tayong source dyan, yun po ay si Nichols Toys. So yun po yung YouTube channel niya. You can subscribe to his YouTube channel at makikita niyo po yung mga reviews niya and knowledge about Gunpla na sa tingin ko na talagang makakatulong po sa ating mga fellow Filipino hobbies. Tama po ba ako, sir?
Yes. Nichols Toys, Nichols space toys on YouTube. Is there a link here?
Actually, we'll send that link later and we'll edit this one sa ating Facebook and also sa YouTube para makita rin ng mga viewers ng kanyang YouTube.
Actually, I'll just send you my channel, I guess. Yeah, I'll send to you later. Okay.
So, sir, did
I just want to add one more thing about the turn A.
Okay.
The thing is, the turn A has the moonlight butterfly effect, the moonlight butterfly feature, which technically turns any machine into just scrap metal. Yeah, like he can stop any mobile suit from working with the moonlight butterfly.
Paano naman, sir, kung isang diehard fan ng Gundam Double O, nasasabihin, ay hindi, magka-quantize lang si Double O Riser, wala na yan si Turn A, wasak na yan.
Hindi, pero ito kasi, the quantum system isn't even a combat system. Like, it's not even an offensive system. It's come on, you should do your research, man. Diba?
Kasi diyan minsan nagsisimula yung clash of
in communities. Yeah, it was really toxic. Like especially with the IBO fan base. Like the IBO fan base.
And sir, sorry,
if you're familiar with Forrest Diego.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
So sa ating na pag-uusapan sa mga nanonood, sir, this is just based on our guest opinion. So wala po kaming
of course.
Iba rito. So at the end of the day, if you do not agree on his opinion, we respect that. We all have
that's fine. That's completely fine. That's completely fine.
So sir, going back to your question po, sir, what was that again? I like that.
Okay. Because I mean, I'm not gonna say all IBO fans are like this, but there's like a good amount of them, especially Forrest Diego. Some of you may have encountered Forrest Diego in the past. Like they're gonna say, "Oh, Barbatos is the strongest mobile suit." And yeah, it doesn't make sense. First of all, and second of all, it's tiring to see see comments like that, to see people, yeah, just overpraising their favorite mobile suit. But yeah, that's it happens, I guess.
So, sir,
Yeah.
my next question naman for you is this. So, after GBWC, so nabanggit ko nga na meron kang YouTube channel na Nichols Toys. And ito talagang reference ng YouTube na to is meron kang mga reviews sa talagang makakatulong, especially for international. Kasi nakikita ko more English eh. And meron din akong
Oh,
video na talagang naka-attract talaga sa mismong paningin ko, na which is very funny, na which is talagang facts talaga. Kasi 'di ba,
oh my God.
meron akong nakitang videos kasi 'di ba, na-encounter kasi natin na may mga babae na gumagawa ng mga YouTube videos. And then nakita ko na
Oh my
kinontra mo
God.
eh, na kumbaga na parang nagiging topic is they're using their cleavage to get view. Kumbaga hindi ko sinasabing mali sila. There are some na they're
Yeah.
using that
Yeah.
as a marketing, 'di ba? So we must say face a fact,
Yeah.
it's part of marketing eh. They're using their cleavage and they're using their beauty for the sake of views. And then nakita ko kasi na kinontra mo kasi yun eh. Parang hindi ko parang correct me if I'm wrong kung pangontra siya or parang just a meme doon sa ginawa mong videos. Naghubad ka talaga, pinakita mo pa yung review about doon sa kit mo. So sir, what was the purpose why you made that video?
Oh, okay. It's a lot. The reason is a lot simpler than what most people think. Um,
Mhm.
it's because okay, um, just like Mr. Silverge here, I have no issue with girls using their cleavage. That's completely fine. Uh, it's
Mhm.
it's they're using their assets, whatever. Do what you want, but um, I just find it so funny. I don't like. I'm not gonna hate them. I'm not gonna stop them from doing that. No, no, I'm not gonna do that. But I'm gonna make jokes about it just because I think it's such a funny thing. Like using your boobs to get views. I don't know. Like for me,
Mhm.
that's one of the funniest things in the internet. So yeah, so one day I just thought of the joke. I was like, wow, that's a good idea. That's a good idea for a video. And then I made the video. I put it out. Yeah, it got a
Mhm.
lot of mixed opinions. The first time I put it out, actually, it got a lot of negative opinions, especially from the Western audience. Uh,
Mhm.
I guess this is from the people from the more liberated countries, which I understand. Uh, they were calling me sexist. They were calling me an incel. So yeah, I took down the video for a while, but then I got some requests to put it back. Like a lot of people were, yo, that was really funny. You gotta put it back, man. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, because yeah, I mean, I did like the video myself. Like, I enjoyed making it. It was a really funny video to make, and
Mhm.
yeah, there are
But for
people who
you,
wanted it back.
sir, to be honest, do you find that video as a racist video for you or hindi?
Uh, I the thing is, I tried my best to make it not sexist. Like, I even put a disclaimer in the beginning. Like, I put a disclaimer like at the beginning of the video. This is just a joke. Don't take it seriously. Uh,
Mhm.
and then like I even put I put a pinned comment saying that I deeply respect these girls. Like I just made this joke because it's funny, but it's not at all meant to be offensive in any way.
Mhm.
Yeah, the thing is, I get that it may come across as offensive, but I did my best to make sure that people will understand that it's not supposed to
And
be
at the end
offensive.
of the day, sir, hindi natin naman lahat mapi-please eh. Talagang kahit sabi mo may
Yeah, yeah,
taong
that's
gusto yung
true. Yeah,
ginagawa, may mga tao talagang ayaw
yeah.
talagang ginagawa.
Oh, nga. Kasi I mean, like, especially na you're I'm presenting this content internationally, and people from different parts of the world have different values, have different upbringing, so have different beliefs. Like, yeah, of course, I'm gonna have to expect some backlash. But
Mhm.
anyway, uh, after I put back the video up, yeah, I unprivated it. I put it back up. it got more positive comments. Yeah, people are telling me now it's fine, dude. You don't worry about the. Yeah, this is really funny. And I also want to shout out to the black Gundam community. They were really supportive. They were really supportive of that video, and like I want to thank them. Thank you, brothers. Uh, yeah. Yeah.
Yan, so this is my next question for you. So sabi mo nga there are a lot of persons na natuwa, merong hindi natuwa. So ito yung next question ko para sa na karugtong dyan, sir. Na possible related din naman to. So Sir Nichols, ano yung bagay na nagawa mo or nasabi mo sa isang Gunpla community na napagsisihan mo na sana hindi ko na ginawa?
Okay. I guess for one thing, it was just I kind of okay. I had this issue before. This was on the GBWC. This was about the 2019. I think this was 2018. Yeah, 2018 or 2017. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but it was one of those 2017 or 2018. The champion of the international GBWC competition, the whole competition was a Filipino, and of course, yeah, I was very happy for him. Although his entry, it for me, in my opinion, and I think there are a few who share this opinion, his entry looked like a Michael Bay Transformer, and I commented on the public post, the congratulatory post of his entry, that I think it looks like a Michael Bay Transformer, and that I think that the judges of these contests should consider more of how much of a Gundam the entry looks, or like how how Gundam it still looks. Although, yeah, my mistake here. I mean, I still think my opinion had a point, but I think my mistake was that I shared my opinion in the wrong place. I shared my opinion in the wrong place.
And
And
para sa iyo, sir, ano naman yung naging kumbaga naging consequence of your actions at that time? Talaga bang nagkaroon ng masamang epekto sa iyo?
well, for a while, it did. Like people were saying so many bad things to me, like so many bad things. And like, I mean, I'm willing to take like logical criticism, but a lot of the criticism I got were just hurtful words, insults, like not logical, not constructive at all. No, but some of them were constructive and logical, which I appreciate. But yeah, like I mean, ganun talaga sa Pilipinas eh. Madaming madaming madami talagang magko-comment na from their emotions lang, which it happened. And pero yeah, I will admit na kasalanan ko because I put my comment in the wrong place. Like I should have
So,
just
diba, kasi sir, ang parang ang nagiging topic kasi at that time, di ba, nung nag-champion ng ating kababayan, kumbaga parang ang nagiging statement kasi na except na suportahan mo yung kapwa Pilipino mo, nilalaglag mo pa yung kapwa mong Pilipino dahil sa achievement niya. So, di ba, ano yung naging impact sa'yo nun, sir? Nung sinabi nila yun na parang except na suportahan mo, nilalaglag mo pa yung kapwa mo Pilipino nang dahil lang sa ganung statement. Parang ginawa nilang
para
big
sa
deal.
akin kasi siyempre masaya ako na Pinoy yung nanalo, pero I think when you're looking at like who should win, I wanted to see it in as objectively as I can, like minus my country, like without bias of my country, without I mean that's how I saw it. And what sucks then about that is that it wasn't my intention to hate on, to bring my country down, or I just that comment was just based on like how I objectively saw it, without like without my bias of being a Filipino. Like the only bias there, in my opinion, was like my personal taste in Gundam, and that's what the contest is about. This is a contest about Gundam, about Gunpla, about modeling.
Mhm.
It wasn't like, it didn't really matter who won. I mean, it didn't really matter like which country won. In the end, it's not like the Olympics or anything. Like, you're not really representing your country. You're just representing yourself. So for me, like, the country wasn't. I mean, it's cool that he's a Filipino. It's like, wow, that's amazing. But for me, it's not really like a big. Your country isn't that much of a big deal. I mean, is your country even sponsoring you, right? Is your,
Mhm.
right,
Mhm.
right? Like, yeah, you're just really representing yourself, and I guess you have the name of your country in some way, but you're not really sponsored by your country. You're not really, really, really representing your country. Like, this isn't the Olympics.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what
Mhm.
I think. But ayun, yeah, that's why siguro na hindi ko na consider yun, because for me it shouldn't really be much of a big deal. Yeah, it's
So
yeah.
so before I proceed to my next question, so sabi po ni Sir Jules Christopher De Doro, sinubscribe ka na sa
Oh,
unsubscribe na siya sa yung channel, sir. So
thank you so much. I hope you enjoy my videos.
moving forward to my next question. So ito yung category na ating pag-uusapan. So this is a people's questions. So itong people's
Okay.
questions, ito yung mga nakumpal kong questions sa ating mga fellow Filipino community, and how are you going to respond to this
Ooh,
conversation? So is it okay,
interesting.
sir, if I start?
Interesting.
Is
Okay.
it okay, sir, if I start na, sir?
Yeah. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
So people's question number one. So para sa'yo, sir, in your own opinion, anong pinagkaiba ng Filipino community against sa international overall, especially sa toxicity?
ahead. Okay. Para sa akin, actually, yung toxicity level, it's on the same level naman, but on in different ways.
Mm.
And wait lang, may may nag-message kasi sa akin about the stream. Wait lang.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
uh, okay, so about that, yeah. I'd say the toxicity level, the same level but in different ways. Yung the problem with Pinoy, I think. Sige, actually, let's do this one by one. Since I said they're different. Let's start with the local community first. Okay. So,
Mhm.
back in the day, the Gunpla community was kind of konti lang tayo, diba? Like, everyone. Like, I guess we were just like less than 500 people in the community. Uh, but now that it's mainstream, of course, there are more people in the community, and because the gates are more open now, it welcomes more people, including Toxicity. Um, uh, I'd say the Toxicity in the Philippine community. Excuse me. There are many factors. One factor I think is class. Uh,
Mhm.
because of course, there's some people who make more money, and there are other people who don't make a lot of money. So the people who don't make a lot of money would choose bootlegs over
Mhm.
original, and then
Mhm.
and then the people who make a lot of money will look down on the bootleggers, like, wow, ooh, bootlegs, yak kadiri. Tapos yung mga bootlegger naman, uy, um, kasalanan ko bang mahirap lang ako, yung mga ganong comment. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I that's one factor, I think. And I think that uh the solution to that is just to mind your own business. diba?
Mhm. Di
Like,
bale kung may naiambag kang pera doon sa binili niyang pera, yan pwede mo siya dagtahan, di ba?
yeah. Like, yeah, that, the bootleg, the bootleg. I mean, I personally don't support bootlegs, but like, I understand why some people, uh, don't, why some people buy bootlegs because that's all they can afford. Uh,
Mhm.
and then, yeah, the bootleg discussion, it's just this never-ending spiral, you know?
Mhm.
Uh,
So, so speaking of bootleg, sir, this is my next question for you. So, this is people's question number 2. So, itong question na to, sir, nasabi mo nga, you don't support bootlegs because it's a piracy. And we must understand that.
yeah,
Ang i-face ng mga bootleg collectors yung facts na yung bootleg is a piracy. So, para sa iyo, sir, meron kasi tayong mga nakikitang ibang mga bootlegs na tumataas yung value na kulang na lang halos presyong Bandai na yung mga bootlegs. And ang nirarason ng
okay,
iba, discontinued, wala ka na makikita niyan, wala nang gawa. So para sa iyo, sir,
okay.
do you think na okay ba sa iyo yun na parang yung nagiging pricing ng bootlegs are almost Bandai prices?
Uh, okay, this is my opinion. I think that it's kind of Bandai's responsibility also.
Mhm.
Here's why. Okay, so for example, we have the Death Scythe
Mhm.
Hell by Dragon Momoa. Tama ba? Honestly, I
Mhm.
was very tempted to get this kit also
Mhm.
because yeah, Bandai doesn't have a Death Scythe Hell. So
Mhm.
Bandai, if you want people to stop buying bootlegs of that kit, go make your own. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah. Kasi yung mga kits, yung mga bootleg na tumataas yung value, ano lang naman yun eh. That only applies to the unique bootlegs, like the bootlegs that are their own thing, the bootlegs that don't have a Bandai alternative. So
Mhm.
I think it's Bandai's responsibility to control that market because I mean they started this market. This is their
Mhm.
market, and
Mhm.
they're also the same way they're responsible for making sure that people stay within their market. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
what I think. I think it's Bandai's responsibility. If they want people to stop buying bootleg Death Scythe Hill, then go make your own Death Scythe Hill. I mean, people are only buying that because Bandai's not making one. Yeah, that's what I think.
Mhm. So
And
this is my next
yeah,
question. And it's okay, it's okay. Proceed. It's okay.
okay. Should we go back to the community because like, I think that's a more important part of the conversation.
Okay.
Or do
So
you want to ask something else?
okay, this is my question for you. So question number 3. So this is itong mga natatanong ko sa iyo, sir. Ito yung base sa mga gustong magtanong about doon sa opinion mo. So sir, this is my next question for you na meron dito nagtanong na you're making your own channel and there are some of your videos that are based by your opinions and facts. So, may
Okay.
nagtatanong dito, sir, na ang sinasabi na bakit ka gumagawa ng ganitong video? Is it the purpose of educating other people or for the purpose of just being, kumbaga, yung purpose mo lang is makakuha lang or makakuha ng attraction or magpapansin lang sa ibang tao? So, para sa what are your thoughts about?
For me, actually, I think my main okay. For me, what motivates me to make videos the most is when I think of an idea, and I'm like, wow, I have to make this idea a reality. I have to turn this into a video. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd say that's my number one. That's my number one motivation. Like wanting to turn my ideas into videos. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah. Actually, yeah. I think it's fun, and I mean, yeah. Of course, I want to get views. Of course, I want to expand my audience because um, I think that's also part of the inspiration there. That's part of the
Mhm.
drive. Like knowing that people are watching you, knowing that people are actually taking in information from you or laughing
Mhm.
at your jokes.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, of course, that's part of it. So yeah, I'd say there are many reasons to make
Mhm.
there are many reasons as to why I make these videos, but the primary reason in the end is the fact that, when I think of an idea, I want to make that idea into a video, which is the case of the video, the how to get the boobs video. Yeah, that was the reason why I made that video, because I thought of it. The joke was so funny. I was like, yes, I have to turn this into a video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is my next question. This is my next question for you, sir. So this is number 4 of a people's question. So, sir, ito ang question sa ng taong to is, sa mga nakikita mo sa community o sa nakikita mo sa isang tao, ano ang pinaka-ayaw na ayaw mong nakikita sa isang hobby? Or ayaw na ayaw mong ginagawa ng isang hobby sa community?
Okay. Uh, the thing is, like, I've been in this hobby for a long time. Of course, I've been through arguments, I've been through fights, but in the end of the day, I think I've learned to just not take things too seriously. So, parang lahat ng mga nakikita kong ayaw ko, I just make fun of them. I just make jokes about them. I guess one thing I don't like is how. Let's see. It's actually a hard question. Oh my god, this is a hard question. Oh, okay. All right. I know the answer. I don't like it when people act over righteous, like act like they're. I mean, it's okay to share your opinion, but like some people think that their opinion is like the objective truth, or I mean, sometimes your opinion will be the objective, but it's not always the case. There are some people. I'm gonna cite an actual event that happened before, recently. This was in the Gunpla Builders Tips and Tricks group. So, what happened here? What happened in this group is that Filipinos, the Filipinos in the group were apparently the number one violator of the English only rule, because this is an international group. Okay, and then what happened is that a lot of people in the comment section called the admin a racist, but the admin is actually a Filipino himself. And he's just calling out like his own people, because he's saying, guys, nakakahiya, let's stop doing this. And then a lot of people from other countries, like, lots of like white people from the West. I mean, this is not to generalize, okay? I'm not a racist. Not to generalize, but like a lot of people from other countries, different countries, were calling him a racist. We're calling the admin a racist, even though he was just citing facts. So, that's why I don't like when people act like they're a hero, even though they don't know the full grasp of the situation. Yeah. I mean, like, it's okay to try to be a hero, but you have to understand the situation first. These people who call out the admin, they don't even really know about Filipinos, about the Filipino language. They don't even know the fact that English is like a second language to us. They don't even. That was some people were even saying, but doesn't the auto translate work? But here's the problem. Facebook's auto translator doesn't recognize Filipino that well. Like, so it makes mistakes with the translation. Like, sometimes it even thinks Filipino is Spanish. Sometimes it thinks Filipino is like Indonesian or something. Yeah, that happens. It's ayun, yeah, that's what I think. That is one thing I guess I find annoying in communities. And another thing I hate scalpers. I hate scalpers with a burning passion. In any toy community, I hate those guys with a burning passion. Ayun. I mean,
Pero sir,
okay, this
kung
yeah.
gagawin, kung halimbawa, sir, magpatupad ng batas na anti-scalper law, pabor ka ba dyan?
Well, it depends on how they implement it. It depends on like the specific rules about it. Uh, okay, here's what I think to say. I think it's okay. Like, let's say you have a toy, and then you keep it for like a long time, and then you sell it for a higher price because it's rare. I think that's okay. Okay, that's okay. That's fine. But here's what I don't like. There are people who would like, let's say namatay si Kobe Bryant. You remember that? And then yung may mga nagbebenta ng Funko Pop niya for like a really high price. Like I really don't like that. Like,
McFarlane figures, nagtaas din yung value niya kahit yung sapatos
yeah,
niya.
yeah. Like I mean, I get naman ganun, pero like I just don't like it. It's just so sad to me that people would do that. And although I get that it's human nature, it's human nature to, they need to make money. Okay, another thing I don't like about scalping. Okay, yung sinabi ko just now, I understand that that's uncontrollable. Like, that's bound to happen. But here's something that I think can be controlled. Um, you know how some people would buy multiple stocks of an item. Like, ubus na yung stock.
Paano,
diba?
sir, kung halimbawa may mga ganyang senaryo? Kahit sa PS5 nangyayari yan, nakakaubusan. Paano kung halimbawa dahilan nila? Sir, kaya ako pinapataas yung presyo ko, sir, kasi pangangailangan ng pamilya ko. Merong iba, sabihin, wala kang pakialam dahil negosyo ko to. Paano mo nga? Di ba yan yung mga
Okay. Here's what I think. Okay. So they're gonna say that, diba? Okay. The thing is, I think the people who say that deserve all the hate they can deserve. Okay, because okay, you're saying you're doing this for your family. Okay, will your family look up to a person who does this, who does like this dirty? There are cleaner ways to make money. You don't have to manipulate a market, to control a market. And another thing. If you're willing, okay, if you're saying, oh, this is for my family, then okay, then if you love your family so much, then you have to be willing to take all that hate for the sake of your family. If that's what you think your inspiration is, diba? Like, because yeah, I think these guys, these scalpers who get hate on Facebook Marketplace, or who get hate, they deserve all that hate. Is what I think. I think that hate is the price of what they're doing. If you think, because the thing is, okay, they have the freedom to do that. Yeah, sure, okay, gusto niyang gawin yan, go. Pero there's a price, of course. I think it shouldn't be easy for them.
Parang yung sinasabi mo, sir, that there's a consequence sa mga actions.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they can do what they want, but there has to be a consequence. There has to be a price to pay for what they're doing. Is what I think.
So, this is my next question for you, sir. So, ito yung next question ko para sa iyo, sir. Ang question ko is, ito isa sa mga viewers natin na gustong itanong tungkol sa yung opinion mo about this. Sir, why about people getting triggered na ang sinasabi nila kapag tinatawag nilang laruan or toy ang isang Gunpla, ang daming nagagalit or natitrigger, sir? What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. Okay, I used to be triggered when I was like a kid, but like now I'm not triggered at all. I think it's just something you have to get used to. The thing is, I don't really consider Gunpla's toys, but I call them toys because it's easier to call them toys. It's just so easy to say the word toy. It's just a one-syllable word, diba? Like I mean, compared to calling it a model kit, like it's harder to say, diba? It's 3 syllables.
Kasi diba, nakikita natin sa community. Kasi nakita natin sa community kapag ka nag-post ka, pag sinabing laruan yung Gundam, parang insulto sa kanila eh. Kasi diba, they are treating Gunpla as an art. Parang kanila, pag sinabing laruan, parang minamaliit mo yung Gundam pag tinawag mong laruan ng Gunpla eh, di ba? So, paano tayo masabi?
Okay. Actually, this is what I think. I'm gonna comment on that from a linguistical perspective, like a language perspective. Kasi language, especially English, it's a very dynamic language. It's a language that changes a lot, and it's spoken differently. It's spoken differently depending on the area, depending on the place. Uh, I just think that everyone has a different way of saying things. So yeah, just i- if people say, "Oh, that Gundam's a toy, isn't it?" The thing is, it's a toy in a sense, but it's not a toy in like, because when you say toy, the word toy has so many meanings. Like you can say, "Oh, yeah, it's a sex toy," or "Yeah, it's a toy," because toy in our age can also mean collectible, diba? Like toy,
Di ba, sir? Tsaka, sir, di ba kung
yeah,
iisipin ko, laruan pa rin naman yan, sir, eh. Kaya nga, di naman siguro
yeah,
lalagay sa
yeah,
Toys
yeah,
R Us
yeah,
yan kung
yeah,
hindi laruan yun, di ba? Ilalagay sa Toys R Us yan
yeah,
kung hindi
yeah, yeah,
laruan yun,
yeah.
di
I
ba?
guess, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but
Di ba?
in my opinion, the word toy, it's such a vague, or I guess a flexible word right now. Like
Mhm.
when you say toy, it can be like a kid's toy, or when you say toy, it can be a collectible kind of toy.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
what I think. I think the reason why I think it's okay to call it a toy is because the word toy has just such a wide meaning right now. Diba?
Mhm.
Yun lang. That's my opinion.
Meron
It's
ding iba na masyado nilang sinusugarcoat yung ganung bagay, di ba? Ganung topic na yun, di ba?
yeah, yeah, I guess.
Mhm. So, this is my next question naman for you. I don't know if this is this is a stupid question for you. Natatawa ako kasi shinare sa akin to ng kasama ko. Hindi to
I'll
galing
go
dun sa
ahead.
akin. Galing to sa mga people's request. So, sir, etong tanong na to is, bakit may mga kapwa tayong Filipino hobbies na hindi marunong magbasa ng rules?
Okay. um. Uh, okay.
Sa mga Gunpla group or toy group to, ito yung tanong.
Yeah, yeah.
Bakit may mga ibang Filipino hobbies na hindi marunong magbasa ng rules? 'Di ba may dumating sa point na na-violate nila or nakikila dahil sa
Yeah, yeah.
violations nila?
Okay. The thing is, hindi lang naman Pinoy yung nagbe-break ng rules na yun. Like even in anime groups, like I see like a lot of people speaking in Spanish in some groups, and then people speaking in like Thai, or yeah, or Indonesian. I'm not sure what that language is, but
Mhm.
I think kadalasan lang napapansin yung na Pinoy kasi siguro, yeah, baka nga tama nga na Pinoy nga, it's mostly Pinoy na nagbe-break ng rules. And I guess the reason for that is I don't know eh. In general kasi like in our country, Pinoys break a lot of rules. Like you go to nalala ko dati, like I went out and then may mga nakikita akong hindi nakamask, or parang okay lang sa kanilang magtanggal ng mask basta walang guard.
Mhm.
Basta walang guard na nakakita. Parang yeah, yeah, parang uh I guess that's one reason. Like they don't care as long as they don't get caught. Uh
Mhm.
which is a bad thing. Uh, I think that people should have like a more, especially when you're in a community, you have to know that you're part of a community. So,
Mhm.
uh, although there's another reason, which I think is a forgivable reason, uh,
Mhm.
this forgivable reason for me is that sometimes when people comment Filipino in an international group, akala nila kasi yung group na yung local group. And ang dami na kasing groups eh. Minsan naghahalo-halo, diba? Naghahalo-halo sa newsfeed mo. And yeah, I
Mhm.
think that's a more forgivable reason. Pero ayun na rin. Like I guess just take that as a lesson. Like just read muna kung ano yung group na yun. Like is this Mecha Pinoy, or is this an international group, diba?
Mhm. So,
Ayun.
ito naman yung
Wait, I have a
okay.
question pala. I have a question. You know,
Mhm.
Gunpla Builders then.
Gunpla Builders and yes, yes. From Cavite po sila, tama po ba ako?
Is that an international group now?
That is a local
Because
group, sir. Filipino-based.
alam ko it started as a local group, but the content, I'm seeing a lot of international content on that group. So like I don't know if the rules have changed. I don't know if it's still local group or if it's now actually an international group.
Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm not posting it at Gunpla Builders then. Pero as far as I know, Gunpla Builders then is a local group. Sa mga viewers, sir, you can correct us if you want to kung local group
Ah,
ang
yes,
Gunpla
yes, yes.
Builders.
Yeah, yes, please let us know. Because I know it
Mm-hmm.
used to be, it was a local group, but parang nag-expand yung audience nila, nag-expand yung membership nila,
Mm-hmm.
like
And
immensely.
yes. And
So,
then ito yung next question ko para naman sa iyo, sir. This is about groups. So natanong ko na rin to sa mga
okay,
previous guests ko. So, 'di ba,
yeah.
related din to sa rules eh. Kasi 'di ba, merong mga ibang grupo na natanong ko rin to kung napanood mo yung previous episode ko, that was Mr. Nathaniel Barrera, na may mga grupo na nakikik ng dahil minsan they violated the rules. Merong iba na sadya lang talagang sobrang bigat talaga ng ginagawa nilang violation sa talagang they're giving threats to the group. And merong iba na dahil nga hindi nila magawa yung gusto nila, merong iba na gumagawa ng mga sariling grupo. And ngayon, nakikita natin talamak ngayon sa Pilipinas na maraming mga Gunpla groups na na-establish. And merong iba na maayos ang pamamahala, merong iba na hindi maayos ang pamamahala. And dahil din sa mga ibang tao na nagkakaroon ng mixed opinions hanggang sa dumating sa punto na nagiging mitya yan ng pagkakaroon ng pag-aaway sa social media, nasisisi rin minsan yung mga admins dahil din sa hindi magandang pamamahala. Kumbaga yun yung claims nila, hindi magandang pamamahala. So ito yung next question ng people's question para sa'yo. Do you think, sir, na kailangan din ba, sir, na lahat is isisiba talaga sa admin o hindi? Kasi ito yung karamihan tinatanong sa akin ng mga ibang tao sa page ko eh. Dapat ba isisiba sa admin yung mga ganong klaseng issue? Bakit hindi nila nare-resolve kaagad?
Okay. The thing is, the thing about groups, you can't. Okay, admins, They're not paid to manage the group. They're just doing this on their free time. So, I think that people should just take, shouldn't take these groups that seriously. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Although admins will usually like eventually do something about it, which yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
respect. It's kasi ganun talaga sa internet eh. When you're presenting yourself, Facebook is an open platform. Anyone can access Facebook. People from all over the
Mm-hmm.
world can access Facebook. And
Mm-hmm.
when you enter a group, usually groups are di naman private, diba? Usually bigger groups are open or closed or like just semi-open, diba?
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, these groups are like most of the time still accessible to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you really just have to expect that shit will go down at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why um, usually naman, although I will say there are cases of admins being a little too strict because they kind of forget. Some admins forget what the group is about. For
Mm-hmm.
example, there was a group before, Angry Gundam group. If you remember this,
Mm-hmm.
it used to be like this really meme group. Like this really funny group where people can just shit post all the time. And then I guess some admins. I'm not gonna say all admins, but like I guess some people kind of wanted it to be like a more serious Gundam group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they wanted to be a more serious Gundam group, and like as a result,
Mm-hmm.
they kicked out a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they kicked out a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I heard the toy fall down because his wife.
Kahit ako, kinabahan ako sa'yo.
Narinig niyo? Narinig niyo? Oh, God.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
No, it's my figure Agito. Pero ano, forward lang naman. Okay lang.
Mhm.
Let's put him
So
back.
para sa iyo, sir, may mga ganito bang solusyon? Hindi man matanggal or kahit man lang mabawasan yung mga ganitong classic issue.
Okay. I think that admins should make it clear what their group is about. Like, they have to know that, okay, this group is a group for shit posting. So we're gonna let people shit post. We're gonna let people make jokes. We're gonna make people post memes, post the most dank things they want to post.
Mhm.
But and I get, and if admins want their groups to be more serious, they have to present their group beforehand as a serious group. Yeah, because ayun, I think it's more like it's about branding than like communicating to people what this group is.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have to let them know what this group is. Oh, this is a group for shit posting. Oh, this is a group for selling, or this is a
Mhm.
group for I think that is the admin's responsibility.
Mhm.
And although one thing that I don't like, this is just my personal opinion. Okay,
Mhm.
I might get some hate for this. This is a pretty controversial opinion. But you
Mhm.
know those groups that only allow like a certain like they're very strict about the kits you post. Like let's say 1 to 144 only. Like
Mhm.
tapos bawal because like those groups kahit may master grade sa background, bawal yun. Itatanggalin nila yun kahit background lang. I don't
Obligado
like
ka pa.
that rule. What?
Obligado ka pang tanggalin. Obligado ka pang tanggalin,
Yeah,
no?
yeah. Yeah, like kahit ang layo, kahit nasa and like let's say I have a new haul post. Like may I bought a new kits tapos a bunch of new kits. Tapos may kasamang SH Figure Arts din ganun. Kasi may kasamang Mayfex sa pic. Tatanggalin nila yun. Like kahit like kasama lang. I hate that rule so much. I think that's a stupid rule. Like
Kumbaga
they,
parang wala kang freedom na gawin yung gusto mo, di ba?
yeah. And like I mean I'm following the rules naman na may 1 to 144 kit sa t-shirt tapos the main focus is the 1 to
Kumbaga
144
in
kit.
general parang hindi klaro yung rules and regulations sa grupo.
Na parang I think it's too strict. Like it's too strict to the point that it's not fun anymore. Okay, there. That's another thing I want to let admins know. I think that this is a hobby, so of course you want your people to have fun and don't be too strict. Don't make your rules so strict to the point that they're not going to have fun anymore because they're here to have fun. Diba? If you're gonna stop them from having fun, then they're not gonna. Of course they're gonna leave. Of course they're not gonna be. They're not wanna gonna be. They're not gonna want to be part of your group anymore because diba? Yeah,
Mhm.
it's just make sure that your members have fun. Yeah,
Mhm.
admins watching this, very important. You have to make sure that your members are having fun because if they're not
Mhm.
having fun, what's the point?
Mhm. Yan. So, this my next question for you. Isa na namang I don't know yung stupid question. To natawa ako kasi tinanong ko sa iyo. So, itong question ko sa iyo is, Sir Nichols, nababase ba nababase ba ang pagiging isang collector kapag meron kang niyo sa iyong sa bahay?
Mini museum.
Hindi, ganito sir, iyan ako, i-clarify ko, ilinawin ko sir. Basehan ba ang pagiging isang collector pag may niyo sa iyong kasabahay? Yan ba ang basehan ng pagiging isang collector?
A
Kapag may niyo sa
museum.
iyong... Oo.
Jesus Christ.
Oo.
Okay, that's have the people actually think that?
Hindi, that's my question
There are
for you.
people who,
Do you think na basehan ng pagiging isang collector is dapat may niyo sa iyong kasabahay? Parang
of
for
course
you ba
not.
valid?
Of course not.
Oh, what are your
Of
thoughts
course
about that?
not. What the? Of course not, because
Mhm.
I mean, some people want to collect small things. I like collecting small things.
Mhm.
Uh, some people want to collect big things because they want to. But either way, they're still both collectors.
Mhm.
That's so funny.
Mhm.
Although, sige, although I will say that I guess having a Neo Zeong will make you look more rich. So
Mhm.
if you want to be if you really want to look like a rich collector, then I guess the Neo
Kasi 'di
Zeong
ba
could help.
kasi 'di ba meron kasing iba talaga na kumbaga they're using their toys hindi parang i-enjoy, eh. Meron kasing iba na hindi ko sinasabing ano lahat, there are some na parang they are looking for validation, eh, by sharing their own kits na, "Uy,
Okay.
meron akong ganitong kit, ay may ganito akong ano, see, mahal 'to, parang hindi ka makaka-afford nito." So para sa'yo sir, para sa'yo ba parang pangit ba yung gano'ng perception? Parang nagiging basehan is dapat mas mataas yung presyo ng kit mo, malaki yung laruan mo, o kailangan i-accept mo ako sa community, validated ako kasi may ganito ako, 'di ba?
Like, again, the thing is, if you have a Neo Zeong, that's impressive. That is cool. Good for you. But
Mhm,
but I don't think it's for everyone. The thing is, your collection is for you, diba? Like you have a Neo Zeong because it makes you happy. Then that's awesome. But
mhm.
not everyone needs a Neo Zeong, right? And you, yeah, yeah.
Sumakit ba yung ulo mo, Sir Nichols?
Natawa lang ako. Natawa lang ako.
Oo. Kasi 'di ba kasi
Yeah, it's a
kaya nga
funny question.
kaya nga inunahan kita, eh. Inunahan kita kung stupid ba sa'yo 'to o hindi. Kasi ito rin yung gustong malaman din ng ibang tao na dapat ba na kailangan may news yung kang ipakita para mapakitang isang
Okay, okay, okay.
collector, 'di ba?
Here's what I think. Okay, that's kind of related though to the bootleg issue. But
Mhm,
being a Gundam fan is not dependent on whether or not you have a Neo Zeong. But I think that to be a Gundam fan, you have to support your franchise. Like you have to buy like original kits. But that's just my opinion. Like
mhm.
yeah, like if you want to call yourself a Gundam fan, you have to be someone who actually does support the franchise in a way.
Hindi yung for the hype lang, 'di
It
ba?
doesn't need to be a Neo Zeong, but it has to
Mhm,
be a kit from Bandai.
mhm, mhm.
That's what I think.
Yan. So, moving forward to my next question. So, ito naman yung people's question, sir, na susunod, sir. So, itong question na to, sir, is nakita natin your milestone, eh. You have established your own channel, na-expand mo rin yung mga collections mo. So, ang nagtatanong sa'yo, sir, actually babae to, sir. Hindi ko pwedeng
Oh
i-disclose.
wow!
So sir,
Woo!
ang tanong niya, sir, ah, kung sakali man na in the future na magkaroon ka ng sarili mong anak, so yung mga hilig mo ba is iti-teach mo rin ba sa magiging anak mo o hahayaan mo siya na gawin yung mga gusto niyang hilig 'pag lumaki na siya
That's a
or
very
habang
hard
bata pa siya?
question. I mean, of course I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get him into the things I like. But if he
Mhm,
doesn't, then there's nothing I can do about that. That's his life,
mhm,
diba? Yeah, that's.
mhm,
I mean, I'm gonna try and like, yung mga
mhm,
nakikita ko naman, parang successful naman. Like si Don Soratos, he got all his kids or most of his
mhm,
kids into Gunpla. Uh, Manny Pacquiao got one of his kids into boxing. Uh, diba?
mhm.
Uh, uh, see, what's his name? The painter, the
Okay.
Maki. What's the name of the Bob Ross? Bob Ross.
Mhm,
Sorry, Bob Ross, the painter, right? Okay. Bob
mhm,
Ross got his kid into painting, so
mhm,
um, I think it's possible. So I'm gonna give it a try, but I'm not gonna force him, of course.
mhm. So, this is my next
Yeah.
question naman din for you, 'di ba? So, nasabi mo nga na yung you're gonna try your best pero it's the kid's choice kung ano yung magiging path na tatahakin niya. So, ito na mga next question naman for you is this one. Ang nagtanong naman nito is from the community. So,
Wait.
since
Can I add pala something there?
mhm. Mhm. Okay, you can
Actually,
add something.
I mean, I guess kind of related to that. I kind of
Mhm.
got yeah. Okay, I couldn't get my brother into Gunpla, but I got him
Mhm.
into toy collecting somehow. So like I guess that's. No, but like it's more of like an exchange of cultures. Eh? Like I got him into toy collecting. He's also getting me into some
Mhm.
stuff. Like he's getting me into fighting games, which I still suck at, but I try. And
Mhm.
and like I got him into anime. So yeah, I guess like it's just a cultural exchange.
Mhm. Yan. So, ito
Yeah.
naman yung next question ko para sa'yo, sir. So, related yung mga kabataan dito, especially yung mga binata, yung mga wala pang asawa, kahit din sa may mga asawa. So, ito yung question ko para sa'yo. What if kung halimbawa, yung family members mo is, for example, you're into Gunpla, marami ka ng collections, talagang you invested into your collections. What if, for example, sir, in this scenario, na yung parents mo or yung family mo is hindi suportado sa'yo? Paano mo maipare-realize sa kanila na lahat ng ginagawa mo sa pagkolekta is worth it? Paano mo maipo-promote sa kanila?
Ah,
Tanong 'to ng isang member sa community na gusto rin niya maitanong sa'yo.
okay. The thing is, my parents. Okay, my mom was actually against Gunpla. Now she was against me having an expensive hobby, but I think she became more open to it because like she saw how hard I worked for it, like how I paint, how I actually try to be creative, how I try to. It's not just something I waste my money on. I mean, yeah, it is a waste of money, but but it's also something that I use know, to
Mhm,
make more friends, to be part of a community, to
mhm,
I guess enhance my creativity somehow. And like my dad naman also he got more. My dad also like eventually accepted Gunpla more when he saw like how there's a community, how
mhm,
there's like how fun it is, like how fun it is to build something. Because yeah, like I let my dad experience it, and he kind of liked it. Um,
mhm,
yeah, and I think just my advice to the person asking this question is just to try to let your parents experience the hobby, not directly, but like in a way, like show them your community, show them your like work on it in front of them, while they're in your room, build something or work on something, and then show them how cool it is.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, because like
So
I think that they just need to
mhm.
know more about the hobby for them to appreciate it.
Kasi 'di ba merong mga
Yeah,
iba kasing tao na hindi lang naman sa Gunpla, merong isang bagay na kapagka ang isang bagay is 'pag may ginagawa tayo, hindi nila naiintindihan, na parang sinasabi na parang walang kwenta yung ginagawa mo. Pero hindi
yeah,
parang kumbaga 'pag pina-realize mo sa kanila, dun lang nila makikita yung relevance ng ginagawa mo. Hindi lang sa Gundam 'to, overall, 'di ba? Yung mga ganyang scenario.
yeah. Like any other hobby, actually. Here's my opinion about that. I think that it's human nature to question something that you can't understand. It's human nature to not like something that you can understand. And that was the case for Gunpla before, because like, oh, it's just such a waste of money. It's just a toy. Uh, it's it's a kid's toy. Yeah, that was the perception before. But because Gunpla is more popular now, because of I think you told this to me before, because of social media, for example,
Mhm,
uh, people are more informed about Gunpla. You know, the more you know about something, the more you're more willing to accept it. The more you like it, diba? So,
mhm,
yeah, that's what I think. I think it's really more about knowing something.
mhm,
People will hate something less if they know more about it. People are
mhm,
more likely to like something if they know more about it. So, siguro, that's one way. Just make them know more about it, and they're probably not gonna hate it that much
mhm,
when they can see the good parts of it. Diba?
mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
it's like love. It's like a relationship. Diba? Like the more you know someone, the more you fall in love with that person. Diba?
That's a fact.
Diba? Diba?
So, this is my next question naman for you. So, itong question na to isa galing din sa isa nating fellow hobbyist. Directly message to from SILVERGE'S Toys and Gunpla family. So, my question is for you, Sir Nichols. If in case Nichols Toys is ma-monetize sa iyong YouTube, ano ang unang-una mong bibilin sa magiging sahod mo sa pag-YouTube mo? Model kit ba o laruan? Or kung hindi man laruan or Gunpla, ano yung bibilin mo na iba at bakit?
Okay, either I'm gonna save it or okay, it depends if I have a pre-order by that time because I'm a very my purchases are mostly just pre-orders. Like I'm not someone who buys something on a whim. Uh, yeah. Although I'm most likely gonna spend it on something that can improve my production quality. Like if I can, like I want to save up for a new camera. I think I would like to do that,
Mhm.
or yeah. Um, Most likely I'm gonna spend it on something that can improve my production quality for my videos.
Mhm. Mhm. Yan. So, since nabanggit ko na 'to, so itong last question naman 'to isa manggagaling sa akin. So, sir, ito yung madalas kong tinatanong sa mga guests ko na dapat din ma-address din ma-address niyo rin sa lahat. So, sir, sa mga new generation, especially sa mga kabataan na magkakaroon ng interest na pumasok sa hobby na 'to, ano yung mga piece of advice na maibibigay mo sa kanila na just in case na yung mga napag-usapan natin is mapagdaanan nila? How are they going to anticipate this kind of issues? So take it away, sir.
Okay, all right. So okay, we're gonna talk about the basics first, and then yeah. So basics, just when you join a group, just know what the group is about. Like if it's a group about shit posting, yeah, be ready to see some shit posts on that group. But if it's a serious group, then yeah, behave accordingly. Behave accordingly. Yeah, just when you join groups, just know what the group is about. Know what the group is supposed to be. If you're looking for tips, go to Gunpla Builders Tips and Tricks. Yeah, they that's what the group is about. It's literally on their title. It's literally on their name.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, one thing I learned as a netizen, a citizen of the internet, as much as possible, base your opinions on facts. Like the video I posted about the boobs. What protected me is the fact that my jokes were based on facts. It's true that there are girls who use their boobs, their cleavage to get views, and that's I think what protected me. That's what prevented me from being canceled. Yeah, it's because yeah, I made a very controversial joke, but the joke in the end is still based on facts, based on based on things that actually happened. So yeah, stay with the facts. The facts will protect you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the truth will protect you. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Hindi ba yan yung parang the truth will set you free?
it works both ways.
So, sir, before I close this podcast, sir, sino po ba yung mga gusto niyong pasalamatan or shoutouts or meron po ba kayong gustong i-promote, sir, sa inyong channel para malaman po ng ating mga viewers? So, take it away, go,
Okay.
sir.
Uh, yeah, just check out my channel, Nichols Toys. I'll send Silverge the link so you can post it somewhere.
Mhm.
And yeah, also check out. Please check out Hosaka Senpai. My friend my friend handles this page. It's called the King of Ludes. Hosaka Senpai. He posts anime pictures. So yeah, if you're a fan of anime, yeah, go check out his page, the King of Ludes, LEWDS, Ludes, the King of Ludes, Hosaka Senpai. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, check out his Facebook page. Check out my channel, Nichols Toys. I post it's not really a review channel. It's more of like a commentary channel. Oh, my friend Hosaka Senpai also posts toys. Also, he posts anime toys and car toys. Yeah, he's a fan of cars, like Hot Wheels and Tomica. So yeah, you can check him out. My channel is mostly toy commentary. I do reviews sometimes, but I think I would like to focus on like talking about toy subjects. That's what I think my channel is mostly focused on. And I also post tutorials, like painting tutorials sometimes. Uh, and I also have a second channel. It's called Flippy Nick, FLIPPY space Nick. That is my comedy channel. Yeah, I also try to make some comedy videos.
Ngayon ko lang nalaman yan, sir.
Uh,
Hindi mo na disclose sa akin.
yeah, okay, well, now you know. Sure, please check it out. I post the comedy videos and commentary also. Like I try to post commentary, but it's mostly comedy and voice acting demos. Yes, sometimes I do voice acting demos also on that channel. But yeah, please check that out, Flippy Nick. Although I might change the name into Filipino Nick because it sounds funnier. I don't know. Yeah, but for now it's Flippy Nick. So check that out. I am, yeah. Oh, you can also check my my brother's Twitter. He posts anime drawing. His name is Magic Mark Saison. Yeah, so yeah, that's I guess that's everything I want to shout out. Oh yeah, I will shout out to my friend Eugene. Eugene, if you're watching, Eugene, and wait, let me look at my post. There are a lot of people asking for shout outs actually.
It's okay, take your time.
Okay. Here. Shout out to Dennis Onlanon if you're watching this. And shout out to fans of Gundam Age and G Gundam as per his request. Yeah. Shout out to everyone who likes G Gundam and Gundam Age. Woo! Yeah, like I love G Gundam. I actually wish the world would just fight wars just the way G Gundam would. Like imagine Russia, like Putin will just one-on-one with the president. Diba? Walang gera, diba? Wouldn't that be nice? And my friend is also telling me to shit on IBO because like this friend hates IBO so much. I mean, I would like to comment about IBO though. Like I think you were mentioning about you asked me a while ago about like the toxicity of Gundam communities. I'd say IBO kind of brought a lot of toxic people to the community. I think it's because of the age, the target audience. The target audience of IBO are the edgy teenagers, and because of because of that, like, it brought a lot of edgy teenagers to the community, which, well, yeah, that happened. So yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna say all IBO fans are bad. Like, IBO, I know a lot of good people who like IBO. Yeah, that's completely fine. It's just part of the community that kind of hard to deal with. Yeah. And shout out to Chico Kamu, who is the admin of the Not So Dank Gundam memes page. So shout out to you, Chico. Yeah. That's it. That's I guess that those are all the shout outs.
Yan. So, isa na ng mga panibagong episode ang natapos dito sa Usapang Hobby. And itong napag-usapan natin na Sir Nichols, para as a reminder sa ating mga viewers, ito ay opinion po ng ating fellow Filipino hobbyist. At the end of the day, it's your choice if you're going to believe in his opinion or hindi po. ito lamang isang basihan
Of
po
course.
sa mga pangyayari sa ating community. And I hope itong video na to is makatulong po sa inyong hobbies moving forward. So before I close out this podcast, huwag niyo pong kalimutan na i-subscribe si Nichols Toys sa kanyang YouTube channel. And also, huwag niyo pong kalimutan po na mag-subscribe sa aking YouTube channel din. Verge, Kevin,
Yeah, yes. Please subscribe. Yeah, I just want to say Silverge, I think, is one of the most amazing people in the local community. Like he is one of the most passionate people I've met in the community. Like, he's so passionate about Gundam, about toys, and I'm just so happy that there's someone like him in the community. So thank you, Silverge, for inviting me here and making this possible.
You're very welcome, sir. And also, sir, follow my Facebook page, Silverge Toys and Gunpla Family, para maging updated kayo sa mga upcoming kong toys or Gunpla reviews. So hanggang dito na lang tayo, guys. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga nanood. Happy building to all, and God bless. See you next time dito sa Usapang Hobby. Maraming salamat po. Thank you po, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.